What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to JY's Adventures. You guys are the best. You guys are amazing. Remember, you could accomplish anything you put your mind to. Now, I apologize for the weird upload schedule that I got, guys. Be sure to turn on that notification bell. As you guys know, I have two channels. I have my JY Poochie channel and my JY's Adventures channel. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, turn on that notification bell. So when I do upload on this channel, you guys can definitely tune in and have some fun with the boy. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I saw a lot of you guys comment that you want me to check out how to beat the deadly crash game in Cheap Thrills. So I'm here to check it out with y'all, and we gonna have a fun time as usual. We gonna just hop right into it. Keep commenting those reaction requests down below. Without any further ado, let's go.
You've just been invited to play a once-in-a-lifetime game where every dare could make you rich overnight. But if you had to do the most savage and horrifying things to win $250,000, what would you do? This game escalates to the most brutal dares imaginable, and however far you think it's going to go, it goes much, much further. I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the game and get rich in Cheap Thrills.
Okay, first off, $250,000 ain't that much.
Craig here is going to lose everything. He finds an eviction notice on his front door warning him that he needs to pay $4,500 in 7 days or else he'll be kicked out. He goes to work and gets called into his boss's office, finding out that he's just been fired. He's got no way to support his family or pay his rent, and they'll be homeless if he doesn't find something fast. He goes to a bar to drown his sorrows and runs into his old friend Vince from high school. He buys him a drink, but Craig here notices bruises on the man's knuckles and learns his friend has become a professional debt collector. Vince tells him he's had to do terrible things for the job and that Craig would never be capable of it. But they're both about to find out that Craig here is willing to go so far over the line that you won't even recognize him by the end. They're invited to drink with this couple, Colin and Violet, to celebrate the woman's birthday, and the man tells them he wants to make a friendly bet. Colin here pours 2 glasses of tequila and turns the rest of their night into a game. The first person to drink their shot will win $50. Without hesitation, Vince here grabs his glass and drinks it, winning the bet before his friend even realizes what's going on. Vince has won $50, and this seems like an innocent game, but this is only the beginning of a truly horrifying situation. This will get so twisted that eating your own severed finger is not even the worst thing they'll consider doing by the end of the night. Now, this might not be a death game yet, but for a man who's lost his job and about to lose his home, he should definitely be looking at this like it's a survival scenario, because if he doesn't earn $4,500 in 7 days, his life as he knows it is over. So if someone offers me a free shot for $50, I would slam it down faster than you could say drinking problem. $50 is several days of groceries or a month worth of diapers for his son, and an opportunity like this shouldn't be passed up. This couple is obviously loaded because this is a $300 bottle of tequila and he bought it on a whim. He's also throwing money at us for his own entertainment, so we should immediately be asking ourselves how much they're willing to spend and how far they're willing to go, because we could make a lot of money before the night ends. I would ask the man to give me something else to do, because if drinking a free shot of tequila is worth $50, there's a world of other things I'd be willing to do with alcohol in my system and for a whole lot more. Colin here hands over the $50 as promised, but when the debt collector gives it to his friend, the rich guy insists he play by the rules and keep the money he won. Vince takes it back and they move on to the next bet. Vince here seems like a nice guy, but he's going to get so jealous of how much money Craig will make tonight that it's going to drive him insane. They all start playing darts, and the rich guy offers $50 if they can hit the face on the bill. Vince here narrowly misses the target, but the rich guy quickly escalates the game. Nodding towards a woman at the bar, he makes another bet, offering $200 to anyone who gets her so angry she slaps them. Craig here isn't sure if it's worth the risk, but his friend convinces him it's too much money to pass up, and he approaches the bar to give it a shot.
Just tell her something weird.
Okay, we all want to see Craig here get slapped in the face. The game is starting to involve other people, and that makes things a little more complicated, but I would definitely take this bet, because if my family is going to be evicted and out on the streets in 7 days' time, I'd do just about anything.
I just tell her, like, what would I tell her to get slapped? Oh, you look fat. Because fat shaming is crazy out here, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and honestly, I gotta apologize for that. But, you know, you see, I'm saying I'd have got slapped hella quick with saying that, bro.
My family is going to be evicted and out on the streets in 7 days.
I'm sorry for
I do
offending
just
anybody,
about
by the way.
anything for $200.
Right.
That's enough to pay for a month of car insurance. And when you're broke with no job, $200 for a slap is a no-brainer. Now, this woman doesn't know if Craig here might be violent, and she doesn't have any friends to help defend her. Under these circumstances, slapping a man in the face is a dangerous risk for any woman to take because most people avoid confrontation at all costs, and that makes it harder for you to win the bet. The obvious solution is to tell her about the game and offering to pay for her drink in exchange for a convincing slap.
Oh, okay.
It's a win-win. We all need to vent out a bit of anger once in a
her.
while, and as long as we're letting this stranger know she's safe and everyone gets entertained in the process, I'm happy to.
Well, I wasn't thinking like that. I wasn't thinking that way. It'd just be smarter to just explain, hey, I'm in this game. I could buy you a drink for $50 out of the money I make. You know what I'm saying? Boom.
And as long as we're letting this stranger know she's safe and everyone gets entertained in the process,
Right.
I'm happy to see her get some healthy release.
Right.
But with how messed up each of these characters are, and the way the rest of this night is only going to get worse and worse, we can go one step further to take care of our mental health. BetterHelp offers professional counseling done securely online. Staff and weakness some people's mental traditional for online, easy and free counselor. You'll have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional wants you to start your first month and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Craig here walks up to the woman, but when she turns to face him, the man chickens out and walks back to the group. His friend decides to show them all how it's done, and it only takes seconds before the woman smacks him right across the face.
What did he tell her?
Vince now has $250, and Craig still has zero. He walks back with a huge grin, and the man congratulates him by cutting a few lines of nose candy in front of everyone. The bartender catches him in the act and tells him that he's not allowed to do this. But when he offers her $400, she has a change of heart and takes the bribe. The man has been here for less than 30 minutes and has already spent over $1,000, and that's nothing compared to what he's going to be offering them later because this guy has 250 grand in a safe at home, and it's going to get downright disgusting by the time that money comes out. They move the party to a strip club where the guys are looking to escalate the game, but the rich man starts complaining about the no touching policy. That's when he offers $200 to the first man who slaps the stripper on the butt.
I wouldn't
Craig
do
here
that.
thinks it's going too far, but his friend jumps up to the challenge and heads across the club.
He just smacks.
Okay, this game is starting to cross some ethical boundaries, and that means it's escalating further outside of your control and requires you to put more at risk in order to earn the money. All strip clubs have bouncers, and there's no way that slapping this girl in the flapjacks won't get you beaten up and tossed out. Now, I'll never condone touching a woman without her consent because it's flat out wrong. But if you asked me to choose between my family starving or this, I'm going to have to think twice about the opportunity that's being offered here. To me, the only way to win is to rig the game and get this woman's consent without letting anyone know. Being a stripper is not an easy job, earning roughly $190 a day on average, but can frequently make as little as $20 for the entire evening if it's slow. With this in mind, I would approach the stripper and respectfully tell her about the situation, how much money is at stake, and if she would like to participate to earn 50% of the bet. If you asked me whether I wanted to make $100 giving a stranger a lap dance for 10 minutes or making the same amount of money in 1 second with a gentle slap on the booty, I take the latter. If she agrees, then I'll ask her to look upset but to not call the bouncers, and that way I can make sure I can stay in the club long enough to give her the money she's earned. Making sure that his friends can see him, Vince here spanks the stripper hard.
Whoa!
Vince has now earned $450 total, and Craig the party pooper still has zero. They all leave the club quickly before they get in trouble and climb into the rich man's car. But it's getting too much for Craig here, and he insists he needs to get back home to his wife. Suddenly, a bouncer storms out of the club and confronts the man, accusing him of hitting one of the dancers. He tells him he didn't do it, but that's when the rich man shouts out that he'll give him $500 if he hits him first, and Craig looks at the bouncer to consider the offer.
Punch the bouncer.
Okay, right now $500 is a lot.
You about to get your behind kicked because he looked like a buff dude, bro, and he doesn't look like a buff dude. He don't even look like he go to the gym. He about to get his behind kicked if he punched the bouncer.
But that's when the rich man shouts out that he'll give him $500 if he hits him first, and Craig looks at the bouncer to consider the offer. Okay, right now $500 is a lot of money. That's more than 1 month of groceries for the average American family. But this bet has a lot more to consider here. If you punch a bouncer, you're guaranteed to get knocked the f*** out, and this is going to cost you a lot of money. First of all, this man is wearing glasses, which cost an average of $196, and a punch in the face will definitely break both your glasses and possibly even your nose. Without health insurance, a broken nose requires an x-ray, a facility fee, and a doctor fee for roughly $500 total. With one swing, you could win $500 and lose $696 in the blink of an eye. Now, with all that said, I would still take the bet, but with one modification. This man has already had at least 2 shots and 3 beers, which will definitely slow his response time, and he might not even be fast enough to land a punch, let alone dodge one. That's why I would try to win the $500 by kicking this bouncer in the balls. It will technically qualify as hitting him first, and this would make him flinch in pain long enough for me to run back to the car safely. It's definitely a cheap shot, but we're never coming back to this club. There's a getaway vehicle 15 feet away, and this bouncer is blaming you for something you didn't do, so it's the best and only way out of this situation. Craig here goes for the gold and decides to hit the bouncer in the face. With one bet, Craig has earned $500, and that's nothing compared to what he'll make by the end of the night. He's surprised with himself and looks back to his friends, but as soon as he does, the bouncer knocks him out cold with a single punch. Okay, now before we get any further, this guy just took a serious beating, and because YouTube won't let us show any blood, we have to blur the next scenes. But trust me, by the end of the video, they're going to be doing bets that are so insane, you'll be glad that we blurred it. Later that night, Craig here wakes up on someone else's couch and checks his pockets to find a missed call from his wife, as well as $500 he won from the fight with the bouncer. Walking into another room, he finds out they're in the rich man's house, and they're all glad to see he's awake so they can continue playing the game. But all he wants to do is go home. The rich man insists he takes some painkillers before leaving, and Craig agrees to wait for the medicine. Colin and Vince here go into the study where the rich man opens a safe, and the debt collector is shocked when he sees bundles of cash inside. Realizing he's just hit the jackpot, he sits back and starts to come up with a plan to rob this rich couple blind. In the living room, the wife gently cleans the blood off of Craig's face and asks him if he's ever broken any bones. He tells her he broke his foot once flying off a skateboard, and it reminds her she once saw a skateboarder get hit by a car, and that the kid's breaking bones sounded like a snapping tree branch. Okay, this woman has psychopath written all over her face. All night long, this woman has looked bored and expresses no emotion, but when she tells the story of a boy getting hit by a car, it makes her smile. This is a major red flag. Now, it's important to remember that this entire night is to celebrate her birthday, and that means everything that's happening is a show for her entertainment. If she's a psychopath that only smiles at death, and we are her birthday present, that turns our situation from financial survival into a life or death scenario, and it forces us to look at this whole game a lot differently. I would start to consider how much freedom we actually have here. Every time Craig tried to leave, they wouldn't let him and keep manipulating him to stay. These guys could be serial killers for all we know, and earning a few $1,000s means nothing if you aren't alive long enough to spend it. These kinds of people lack empathy for others, so we need to exploit that. She wants to see the most f***ed up things imaginable. I would try striking a deal, offering to sell out my friend Vince here and make her night. If we promise to push him in these bets until he reaches his breaking point, I would only ask that they let me leave unharmed with half the money in return. She will logically conclude that this is a good deal that fulfills her desires, and it gives me the best chance to survive and win money. It might be cruel, but getting rich and staying alive are much higher on my priorities than keeping a friend I haven't seen in 5 years.
I realize this is in this how to beat, it's a lot of communication, doing it smart in a smart way goes a long way for this how
and staying alive are much higher on my priorities than keeping a friend I haven't seen in 5 years. The guy comes back in and gives Craig here a handful of pills, as the rich man asks them all to follow him outside. He leads them to the patio to show them the view and tells them a story about how his wife designed the house. But it's all just a distraction, as Craig here suddenly realizes that Vince has taken another bet. He looks down to find his friend is peeing all over his shoes. Vince has now earned $750, and Craig here is seriously pissed off about all this. Furious, he goes back inside the house to wash off the stains, and Vince follows him trying to calm him down because he's got a plan. He's going to rob the couple and needs Craig's help to do it, but the man refuses to help, pointing out that the guy will call the cops. Vince here is certain that will never happen, because the police will see this guy is coked out of his mind and arrest everyone. And realizing this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, he agrees to help him steal the cash.
Rob him.
Okay, this is a great idea, and I would definitely consider this if I was in his position. This guy is coked out of his mind, extremely trusting, and most importantly, he did not enter any numbers into the safe. It was already open when he walked in. This makes him a prime candidate to steal from. But there's one vital clue here that tells us that this could go horribly wrong if it's not done the right way. If you're robbing a house, the most basic thing you need to do is to survey the entire place to get an idea of where the exits are and what kind of security system they might have. If he had taken a moment to study his environment, he would have realized that this guy's not someone they want to mess with, because he's an award-winning martial artist and could easily kick their asses. The best way to do this is with a distraction. I would tell my debt collector friend here to entertain the couple while I sneak into the office and take as much money as I can carry and look for a back door. Leaving your friend here is the only solution, because it keeps the couple's attention long enough for you to escape, and your friend won't come looking for you because he thinks you're still helping him. These two haven't seen each other in over 5 years, so it was not a friendship they were interested in keeping anyways, and that makes him someone I'd be willing to throw under the bus and escape the situation where they steal the money before this betting game gets out of hand and takes a deadly turn. He might come looking for me, but we're already going to be evicted, so I can use this money to relocate my family and we'll never see him again. They leave the bathroom and tell the couple they've kissed and made up, but when the rich man approaches to hand him $300, he shoves him against the wall. Putting a knife to the guy's throat, he demands to know what the safe's combination is, and the guy tells him it's not even locked. Craig runs into the office and shoves the money into cardboard boxes as quickly as he can. The friend demands they hand over the car keys, but suddenly the man grabs his wrist and knocks him to the ground as his wife pulls out a gun and points it at Craig. That's when things take a strange turn, because instead of calling the cops, he tells them to pretend that none of this ever happened. This whole thing was organized for his wife's birthday, and that's when he admits that all this cash was already set aside for them to play the game and do crazy messed up things, but only if they obey every command to earn it. They both decide to keep playing, and the rich man tells them their next dare. Whoever can hold their breath the longest gets $500. Suddenly, Craig here gets a call from his wife and answers it to find out that it's 2 a.m. and she's worried sick. She knows he's been fired and begs him to come back home, but the rich man offers him $300 to hang up on his wife. Okay, this is the easiest $300 he's going to make all night, and I would hang up on my wife faster than you can say custody battle. But it's such a great offer that it's distracting us from a serious red flag here. So far, there's been a reasonable proportion for each bet, where drinking a shot of tequila is worth $50 and punching a bouncer in the face is worth $500, but there's no reason that hanging up the phone is worth $300 as a form of entertainment. It just doesn't make sense, and that's why it's a red flag. He's offering way too much money for this because he doesn't want us contacting the outside world to tell anyone where we are or what's going on. That tells us he wants this game to get really twisted and is trying to control the flow of information. Our lives are clearly in danger, but if we leave, we miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime chance to earn more money in a single night than I could make in over 5 years on an average salary. I would stick around as long as they kept giving me money, but instead of hanging up on my wife, I would tell them that I did and make $300, but keep the call going with the phone inside my pocket. The wife will be confused, but she'll be able to listen in and figure out what's going on while I drop her hints. That way I can make sure every word of the night was recorded in case things take a serious turn and we need a witness or someone who knows our location in case we need help in a life or death emergency. Craig here hangs up on his wife, winning $300. Craig has now earned $800 total, which puts him back in the lead, and he's finally ready to start taking this game seriously. Vince already started playing for the next bet, and now it's Craig's turn. If he can hold his breath longer than Vince did, he will win $500. Afraid of losing, Vince here punches him in the stomach just seconds before he was about to beat his record. Colin here lets it go since he didn't lay down any rules, but Craig here wants to get revenge and wants to know what the next bet is. Vince has stolen this guy's chance to win money. He desperately needs to keep his family off the streets. Craig here could have easily won this bet. He is the only person in the room that hasn't been doing drugs all night, and that's a huge advantage because coke dramatically increases your heart rate. If the heart is pumping faster, then it's converting more of your blood oxygen into carbon dioxide, making it a lot harder to hold your breath. But Craig made a huge mistake here by not realizing that this bet is the first competitive winner-take-all challenge. And if you already know your friend is a debt collector who's a professional at taking money away from others, you have to assume he's going to find every possible way to take your money. There's only one way to win these bets from this point on, and we need to start looking for every opportunity to screw this guy over and cheat. For $500, we're not interested in honesty and sportsmanship. We're
no rules, guys. We going for it. We got to
cheat. For $500, we're not interested in honesty and sportsmanship. We're interested in winning at all costs. The rich man leads them outside and shows them a turd in front of his house. His
Oh,
neighbor's
what are
dog
they
is
gonna
always
do with
pooping on his
the
lawn,
dog
and he wants
turd?
revenge. The first man who takes a dump inside the neighbor's house with a photo to prove they did it will win $1,200.
Yo,
Without
that's
hesitation, they run to break into the building and squat down on the floor to perform their
Take a
duty. He
dump.
finishes his business and stands up to take a picture of it before
Run.
yelling good luck to his friend as he
Get
runs
outta
out
there.
of the house. A girl wakes up and is shocked to find Vince with his pants around his ankles, and he
Oh,
runs out of
no.
the house, but on his way back, he notices the neighbor's dog and comes up with a horrible plan. Vince here walks in carrying the neighbor's dog and offers to kill it for money, but the rich man is disgusted and won't have a helpless animal killed on his wife's birthday.
Oh,
Craig has now earned $2,000 total,
Bad
but his
idea,
friend
Vince.
Vince is already planning his revenge. For the next bet, the first person to make the rich man a vodka tonic will get $300. Craig here walks out of the kitchen but gets thrown to the floor by his friend. That's when things start to get out of control.
He's
The
not a
wife
friend,
comforts
bro.
Craig, rubbing his shoulders, and suddenly offers to sleep with him to help him relax. He can't believe what he's hearing and
Wait,
tells
what?
them he won't cheat on his wife. But when the man offers him $4,500 and makes it a bet, he starts to
cheat
consider
on
her
your
proposal.
wife? What? Hey yo, what? Why? Are you cool with
$4,500
that?
and makes it a bet,
is
he
the
starts to
husband cool
consider
with
her
that?
proposal. Okay, this is taking generosity to a whole new level. Less than
Right.
half an hour ago, they were being robbed, and now they're turning the other cheek in the kinkiest way possible. $4,500
Super
is
kinky.
going to save his family from eviction, but if his wife ever finds out, he's not going to have a family to save. Just by
Right.
looking at how jealous Vince is of how much money Craig is making, you can rely on him to make this situation much worse. I would expect that if we survive the night, Vince will threaten to tell the wife what happened and destroy his marriage just out of
He
spite.
gon' snitch
now,
on us.
there's another angle here that could actually make this even
I
more
wouldn't have done
dangerous. The rich man is doing everything here for his wife's darkest desires, but that doesn't necessarily mean he won't be jealous. Statistically, one
Exactly.
of the highest causes of both manslaughter and premeditated murder is because of adultery, and it's not uncommon for a situation just like this turning violent very quickly.
Unless he's a cuck, bro. He gotta be like a NTR cuck or something,
Because of
bro.
adultery, and it's not uncommon for a situation just like this turning violent very quickly. Going through with this bet could win you $4,500, but it's not difficult to imagine that this guy could come looking to murder you for revenge. For me, this is one line that I wouldn't cross, and I would wait for the next bet to keep making money.
Yeah, I would do
Craig
the
here
same.
can't
Wait for
resist
the next
offer,
bet.
and with $4,500 on the line, he
He goes
agrees.
for it?
The wife starts going at it as the other men watch, and Vince here is completely shocked by what's happening. By the time it's all over, Craig is exhausted from all the money he's just made. Now
He
he's
made
earned
it.
$6,500 total, which is enough to pay for 4 months of rent. The host excuses himself to change out of his clothes, but Craig here has had enough, and taking his earnings, he walks out of the front door, leaving his friend behind. The couple return, and they're excited to make even crazier bets, but when they notice that Craig is missing, the woman begins to sulk. Greedy for more money, Vince here insists they can continue playing and wants to know what the next challenge is. Noticing he's
Okay.
lost his wife's attention, Colin here leads the man into the kitchen and tells him to cut off his own pinky. Nervous, he asks how much it's worth, and the rich man slams $25,000
racks.
down on the cutting board.
That's
it's a
not
huge
worth it.
payout, and the man can't resist the money being offered. He's about to go through with it, but that's when they hear Craig offer to do it for $23,000. Furious, his friend tells him to leave. But the man has realized that after he pays his 3 months of overdue rent, he'll only have enough money for 1 more month, and has no choice but to continue
He
playing.
needs to
Vince
continue.
immediately undercuts his friend, bidding $22,000 to cut his own finger off, and a bidding war starts. But neither of them realize that this is going to be nothing compared to what they'll have to do next. Okay, now the stakes are escalating out of control. If we keep playing, it will affect us permanently, and there's no going back. This is a very dangerous progression, because if you show this couple that you're willing to cut off your pinky, I guarantee you they're going to ask themselves what else you might be willing to cut
What
off for
would you
their
be willing
enjoyment.
to do?
They hold all the power, and we can't leave because we need to make as much money as possible. So the smartest thing to do here is to broker leverage. I would try to convince my friend that by refusing the bet and working together, we can gain bargaining power to force the couple to find safer challenges and to drive up the prices in this night of twisted entertainment. If we
Okay.
can't persuade him, then we have to move to plan B and consider if cutting off your
What's
own
plan B?
pinky actually makes any financial sense. First of all, the pinky is a lot more important for daily life
Way
than you
too
may
important.
think. But finger replantation has a pretty low success rate because it involves joining tendons, bones, and reconnecting arteries. It also costs over $10,000, and you wouldn't be able to work for 120 days after the surgery. So altogether, this is a terrible deal.
Okay.
Craig's final offer is $15,000, and Vince finally decides it's not worth it. Craig places his pinky on the table, but is shocked to learn his friend is going to do the honors. Terrified, he tries to stall the bet, but his friend is looking for revenge and chops his pinky off without warning. Screaming in pain, he runs to the couch bleeding, and the rich man cauterizes his wound shut, congratulating him on his victory.
With a
Craig has
iron,
now earned
a heater.
$21,500 total, and that's half a year's salary in a single night.
Whoa.
He asks for his pinky finger, but that's when Colin hears a gagging noise and starts looking for the source. Behind the bar, he's horrified to find that the neighbor's dog has choked on Craig's pinky finger and died.
The dog
The rich
ate
man
it.
picks up the dog, taking the meat cleaver with him, and he better not do what I think he's going to do. As they wait, Vince
What?
threatens his friend for stealing his bet, but Craig argues he needs the money more than him because he has a family. Things are getting heated, but soon Colin here returns to the living room
What
and
they about
offers
to
his
do with the
guests
dog?
dinner. They gather at the table, but when Vince here lifts the cover, he's horrified by what's being served. The rich man has cooked up the dead dog and offers $50,000 to the first person who finishes their portion.
No, 50 racks for the
Cutting
dog.
off my pinky is already extreme, but killing and cooking a dog is so far over the line that even Satan would tell them to calm down. I'm not going to eat this innocent animal for any amount of money. Colin here points out 50 grand is more money than they'll make in a year and could solve so many of their financial problems. And it's enough to convince them both to take the
man.
bet.
Would y'all eat the
Finishing
dog
their meals
meat?
at the exact same time, the rich man can't figure out which one deserves to
Who
win,
wins?
so his wife offers a tiebreaker. Handing him the ice bucket with a finger inside, the man tells them that whoever eats Craig's pinky will be declared the winner of the bet. He throws it across the room, and the men fight
They
over
fight
it,
for
but
the
Craig here
pinky.
manages to rip it free. He brutally kicks Vince to make sure he stays down and puts the severed finger in his mouth, chewing it up and swallowing it all the way down. Craig has now earned $71,500, and now
racks.
Vince is going to make sure he regrets it. His friend suddenly tackles him to the floor and savagely beats his friend into a bloody pulp. Shaken by what he's just done, the rich man leads him outside, and Vince here complains about how he was betrayed and is terrified that he almost killed his oldest friend. But that's when the rich man comes up with an idea. He offers $250,000 if Vince kills Craig and
Murder
reminds him
your
that he'll get all the
what?
money he needs for a new life. Okay, this is the final bet, and we have a tough decision to
No.
make here. Because killing friends in a death game is one thing, but killing friends for cash is a whole new level of evil. Luckily for us, there's a way we can get the $250,000 without having to kill anyone. This
How?
final challenge is everything they've been waiting for, and that means their guard might be down. I would accept their bet to kill my friend, but tell them I'm not comfortable using a knife because it's too messy, and ask to use the wife's gun for the job
gun.
because it's cleaner and less emotional.
And then you rob them. You hold the gun to them, take the money, and then just walk out with the gun and rob them.
Knife because it's too messy, and asks to use the wife's gun for the job because it's cleaner and less emotional.
Smart.
If they agree, this takes away their best line of self-defense, and now we have a ranged weapon to rob them of all $250,000.
Exactly.
After everything that's happened this night, they definitely won't call the police, and they'll have no evidence of the robbery to prove what happened. Now, Vince here is definitely the biggest loser of the night, with only $1,250. If I were him, I'd leave my friend with the couple and take the rest of the cash for myself and get out of there as quickly as
With the
possible
money, right.
because there's no honor among thieves.
Right.
Inside the house, Craig here asks for a cab back home, but the wife suddenly turns on a projector showing all the photos she's taken of the night. The rich man tells him to go take the money he won while he waits for his taxi, but he doesn't realize that Vince here is going in for the kill. That's when Vince catches glimpses of the photos, and when he realizes that the whole night was setting him up for murder, he has a change of heart. He tells his friend they should both leave, never expecting Craig to shoot him in the back. Turning around in shock, he realizes that his friend was offered the same deal and falls to the floor. Craig here
What?
finishes him off with one more shot and stands the lone winner of the
Craig
game.
did it.
Craig has earned all $250,000, which is over 5 years of his salary. Exhausted, he grabs a bag to put all his money in, and the couple thank him for the evening as they watch him leave. Colin here hands his wife $50
What?
for winning a private bet that Craig would be the winner of their death game. This whole night was just for a $50 bet on which of the two friends would go further. The man arrives at his apartment
What?
complex and enters his unit soaked in blood.
speechless.
Dumping his winnings all over the couch, he goes to pick up his crying son, and that's when the lights suddenly turn on. his wife is both shocked and angry to see him covered in blood, with bundles of stained cash he dumped on the couch. All he can do is stand there as his baby screams, and he realizes that even with all this money, his life still sucks.
But what do you think? How would you beat Cheap Thrills? Let me know with a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, leave a like and subscribe, and check out the How to Beat playlist for more videos like this. Until next time, have a damn good day.
Guys, what a banger of a video. Thank y'all so much for, you know, requesting this in the comment section. This was dope, fam. I gotta watch this from its completion, fam. Like the movie itself, bro. That's crazy, fam. So many situations where you know, a lot of people would question their morals and be like, you know what? I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm gonna do this, bro. I'm gonna eat my own finger, bro. I might just kill my friend. Man, I don't see myself doing a lot of these challenges, bro. The drinking, you know, a couple of the things I would have did, but not a lot of these things, especially the ones at the end. Especially the dog meat, bro. I'm a dog lover, y'all. How could you eat the dog meat, bro? Let me know what y'all thought of the video down in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of my reaction. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Please be sure to hit that notification bell, guys, so you don't miss an upload. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.